Hello, today we are talking about a really fun topic of animal adaptations, including habitats. But before we get too deep into it, I have a story that I would like to share with you. Now, this story happened to me last fall, and at the time I did not think that I would need to record anything, so I did not bring a camera with me to record my escapades. So please take a moment and enjoy this reenactment that I have made for you.
Hi guys, what a great field trip! Have a good trip home! Oh my goodness, what a gorgeous fall day it is out here at McFarland Park. I said, what a gorgeous fall day it is here at McFarland Park. Leaves are falling all around. I bet my favorite tree in the whole park that is way in the back of the park looks gorgeous today, and I actually do have some time to go check it out. So come with me and we'll go see what my favorite tree looks like out here today. So here we are in the prairie, and there are some really odd sounds. Do you hear that swish swish? Maybe it's a deer that has spent the night out here and is just coming out. I'm gonna keep going. Let's see what comes out of the prairie. Go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, did you guys see that? Was there a penguin out here? Oh my goodness, I guess it kind of makes sense. They have those flippers that help them cut through the prairie grass, but I don't know. But I don't have time to investigate. I have to get down to that tree. Oh my goodness, we are by the pond. Can you guys hear that?
Splash, splash, splash.
Something is splashing out
Splash.
there. Let's see what it
Splash,
is.
Splash, splash. Splash, splash, splash.
Oh my goodness, did you see that? I think that was a red-tailed hawk based on the color of its tail swimming in the middle of the pond. But I guess that too kind of makes sense because they have those things on their feet, right, to help them swim. So that's where, yeah, maybe that's where they should be. I don't know, but I don't have time to check it out like 10 minutes before the bus gets here. So stick with me. Let's get to my tree. We are almost to my favorite tree, and there's this really weird sound. I don't know what it is, you guys. We'll have to go see what's going on down here. I can't imagine, after the kind of walk that we've been having, what could possibly even be down here. Okay, so here's my tree. Oh my goodness. Do you guys see what is in my tree? It is an octopus. Do you hear that? I mean, it does have suckers. I think those are meant for climbing trees, but I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you guys. This has been the wildest hike that I have ever had out here at McFarland Park. I mean, a penguin, A red-tailed hawk in the water and an octopus climbing a tree? Oh, I gotta get back. My next school bus is showing up. I'll have to figure this all out later.
Now, hopefully, after seeing that story, you're kind of questioning what I am telling you. So, yeah, I can tell from your faces you don't exactly believe that that story is true. Now, here's the deal. I would never lie to you for very long. So, of course, that story was not true. Now, the animals in that story, however, they are actual animals. But there is something a little off about it, right? So when you think about a penguin, where do you normally think of that penguin as being? Yeah, in some place cold, so which is definitely not Iowa. So those are real animals. They just were in the wrong home. Now, does anybody know what the scientific word for an animal's home is? Yes, of course, it is habitat. Now, habitat has very important things that helps all animals to survive. In fact, there are 4 parts to a habitat that help all animals to survive. Can you think of one part, just one part to a habitat that helps animals survive? Yes, food. We all need food. Now, these have very fun symbols. I'm going to write them down so that we can remember what we have said. So food. Now everybody do this with me. Grab your stomach like you haven't had any food today, like you're starving. That is our symbol for food. All right, so we've got 1. We need 3 more. Can anybody think of another thing that all animals, including humans, need to survive? Wait, one at a time, please. Yes, water. So we'll get that on the board. So water, another fun symbol. Cover your mouth. So we've got food and we have water. Can you think of anything else? Yes, oh, very good. Shelter. All animals need a shelter. Very easy, very fun symbol. Put a roof over your head. So we have food, water, shelter, and there's one more. This is the hardest of all 4. So I want you to think about sitting in the back of the car. And maybe you have big brother or little sister sitting next to you, and they just keep getting closer. Or maybe they keep putting their stuff in you just want them to get out of your space. Very good. So food, water, shelter, and space. So I'm going to quiz you now. So I would like you all to show me the symbol for food. Good. Shelter, water, space. Shelter, water, food, space. Food, water, shelter, space. Space, shelter, food, water, space, water, food, shelter, space, space, water. Okay, good job. I think that you all have this down. So food, shelter, water, and space. Those are the 4 parts that make up any habitat. Those are the 4 things that an animal needs in its habitat for it to survive. Now, my story went through 3 of Iowa's habitats, and these are the 3 most common that you will find in our state. So we have the prairie habitat, we have a water habitat, being the pond, and a forest habitat. Maybe take a moment here and think of other habitats that you know of. Maybe you're thinking of the ocean, or a desert, or a tropical rainforest. See how many other habitats that you can come up with. All right, so we have our habitats. We have the parts of the habitat. So thinking back to the story, what about that animal told you it was in the wrong habitat? So let's think about the penguin again. Remember, we said earlier, if you picture a penguin, you usually picture it in the cold. So if you think about the penguin, what about a penguin's body tells you that it is an animal that can survive in the cold. What is it born with that helps it to survive in the cold? Blubber, very good. So the layer of fat underneath the skin that keeps it nice and warm and able to survive in those cold conditions. Now think about the red-tailed hawk. Why was swimming in a pond not an adaptation? Because it does not have the things that ducks have. They do not have webbed feet. They have talons. So that means that they are not meant to be in that pond swimming around. They are meant to be flying around, searching for food and grabbing it with their talons, not going in the water. And it was born with those talons. Now let's move to the octopus. Octopus are also born with something that helps them to survive in their ocean, in their water environment. Just like fish, octopus have gills. So those allow them to survive underwater, same as fish. So those things that animals are born with that help them to survive have a very special word to go with it. And let me write it up here on the board. Adaptations. So adaptations are things that animals are born with to help them survive. Humans have an adaptation that not a ton of other animals have. It's just one adaptation. So what do you think it might be? And I'll give you a hint. It's not lungs. It's not a heart. It's not a mouth. It is these two things. It is our thumbs. We have opposable thumbs. Not many other animals have this adaptation. So think about using your thumbs throughout the day. Yeah, you use your thumbs a lot, whether you're writing or eating or just grabbing something, we use our thumbs. Now, what if we were to take our thumbs away? Do you think we could do things as fast as if we have our thumbs? Well, let's see. So I'm going to take my thumbs away by using some tape, like this. So I have no thumbs. So what I am going to do, and you can try this at home if you would like, I'm going to try to tie my shoelaces without any thumbs. So you can try this with tying shoelaces. I'm also going to try to untie my shoelaces without any thumbs. You can try this while we're doing this on the video, or you can pause it and get your thumbs taped up and try it. So I would like for you to tie me while I'm trying to tie my shoelaces. Now, I have never done this. I usually have the children do it. So go ahead, on your marks, get set, start counting. So I'm going to go over, and then, okay, so I got that part down. Now is the bunny ears. I think that might be the hardest. I can't get my bunny ears to go. And then we go through, and it's not pretty, but I'm done. Awesome. So now what we can do to prove how slow that was is you can remove the tape like this. So now I would like for you to tie me again, tying my shoelaces without any tape on. On your marks, get set, go. Done. So much faster having the ability to use my thumbs. So a wonderful adaptation. If you were unable to do that with me at this time, maybe at lunchtime, try to eat without your thumbs, okay? Unless you have finger food, which would still be kind of hard, it's gonna be difficult. Or maybe try to write a sentence out on a piece of paper without using your thumbs. So something we might take for granted, but something I'm very thankful that I have, my thumbs. Awesome. So we have learned about habitats, what makes up a habitat. We have learned about adaptations, things animals are born with that help them to survive. So the next step would be to take this knowledge, combine it, and do some science. So I invite you to choose an animal and do a little bit of research on that animal. Now it can be an Iowa animal. Maybe you choose ducks or a skunk. Deer, beaver have wonderful adaptations. So many you can choose from. We've also got this guy, a bat. They also have amazing adaptations. Or choose an animal from anywhere in the world because there are some pretty wild adaptations out there. Then what you can do, just like a scientist, is do a research paper. So to do this research paper, I'm going to give you an outline and we'll do one example together so that you know how to do this. So we'll start off with any good paper. You need to acknowledge who wrote it. You need to take responsibility for that, let people know. And you're going to put your name. Then you're going to write down your animal. Then I would like for you, since we discussed habitats, to write down what that animal's habitat is. If you don't want to write this down, you can just talk it out with your classmates or your grown-ups in your world. That is fine too. And then comes the fun part, adaptations. So I would like you to come up with at least 2 unique adaptations to that animal. So let's say you choose an animal that is covered in fur. Now there are many, all mammals are covered in fur. So being covered in fur is not a unique adaptation. However, if you have warning coloration in your fur like this skunk, that is a unique adaptation, all right? So something that is unique to that animal. So for our example, I'm gonna use this fish. So to fill this out, I will put my name. I'm guessing most of you do not have my same name, Beth, so you won't put Beth in the name section. You'll put your own name. Then next you will put animal, so fish. You don't even need to know what kind of fish it is, as long as we know it's a fish. Now the next one is habitat. Now many of you are gonna say water, and I'm gonna say water, like your bathtub water? No, so we wanna put pond or river down so we know it's a natural habitat. And then adaptations, so you're gonna come up with 2. So a fish have very unique adaptations compared to a lot of other animals. So fish are born with gills, and that helps them survive in their water. So I would like you to write a complete sentence. So you would say, fish have gills to breathe under water. So that would be one adaptation, complete sentence, and then another adaptation. Maybe you choose the fact that they have fins to help them swim. Maybe you know even more about fish and you know that inside their body they have a swim bladder that helps to keep them from sinking to the bottom of the pond their whole time, and they don't have to put a lot of energy into where they are at in the water. So choose. You could do more than 2 adaptations if you wanted to. If you choose a beaver, I can think of at least 4 unique adaptations right off the top of my head. So come up with as many as you would like, but at least 2. That would be a pretty good research paper. Now, as a scientist, what we need to do next is share our research paper. So choose someone in your family or someone in your class, or maybe your teacher or your parent will assign you, and you can maybe share the information that you have learned. Like I said, there are some pretty amazing adaptations out there. So the more you learn about it, I think the more fun that it can be. As I said, animals all over the world have some very unique and amazing adaptations. However, animals in Iowa have very unique and amazing adaptations. So maybe just take a moment. Don't do the research paper, but maybe just take a moment. Go outside. See what sort of animals you can find. They don't all have to be giant animals like this. You can go out and find the tiniest of insects, and they all have their very own unique adaptations. So have fun learning about these adaptations and happy adventuring.